So good morning all. Today we'll discuss about laser diode. So take the heading laser diode. So this laser is a device which amplifies the light. Hence the laser is an acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Okay, this is the very fundamental thing which you already knowing. Okay, so take the heading laser diode. In the laser diode, you make a note of it. Laser diode is a device which amplifies the light. Hence, laser is an acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So the operation of the device may be described by formation of an electromagnetic standing wave. So within a cavity, so which provides an output of a monochromatic highly coherent radiation. So the operation of device may be described by the formation of an electromagnetic standing wave, so within a cavity, so which provides an output of monochromatic high coherent radiation. So what is the principle of operation when you're talking? So here the material absorption, then material absorb the light, then emitting. So three different fundamental processes occurs between the two energy states of an atom. So those are absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. So make a note of it. Material absorb the light, then emitting. So three different fundamental processes occur between the two energy states of an atom. So you please make a note of it. So then after understanding the three fundamental processes, that absorption, spontaneous emission, and stimulated emission. So your laser action is a result of three processes: absorption of energy packets. So your energy packets means it is photon only, the spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. So these processes are represented by simple two energy level diagrams. Okay, so energy level diagrams and all, how it is happening and all, we are already knowing this one. So where E1 is the lower state of energy level and D2 is higher state of energy level. So yeah, you can see that in this particular diagram. So E1 level is a lower energy level and E2 is higher energy level. So before that, the quantum theory states that any atom exists only in certain discrete energy state. So your absorption or emission of light causes them to make a transition from one state to another. So the frequency of absorbed or emitted radiation F is related to the difference in the energy E between the two states. So here in this diagram you can see that there is energy level E1 and energy level E2. So whatever the emission of photon takes place, that emission of photon energy level will be the difference between the higher energy level minus lower energy level. So if E1 is the lower state of energy level and E2 is the higher state of energy level, so E will be equal to the emitted energy level will be equal to E2 minus E1. So that is the thing. So it is given by H into F. F is the frequency, H is the Planck's constant. So what is the Planck's constant value? 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 24 joules per second. So make a note of that. Quantum theory states that any atom exists only in certain discrete energy state. Absorption or emission of light causes them to make a transition from one state to another. The frequency of the absorbed or emitted radiation F is related to the difference in energy E between the two states. So what is that particular two states? If E1 is the lower energy level and E2 is the higher energy level, so E will be equal to E2 minus E1. So after you taking this particular equation, so we can say the next thing, that is an atom is initially in the lower energy state. When the photon with energy E2 minus E1 is incident on the atom, so it will be excited to the higher energy state E2 through the absorption of the photon. So this is what exactly happens. An atom is initially in the lower energy state. The photon with energy E2 minus E1 is incident on the atom, so it will be excited to the higher energy state E2 through the absorption of the photon. Please make a note of it. Please make a note of it. Now after you taking that particular thing, you can take this diagram. So absorption mechanism we are going to see now. So now in this particular absorption process, how it is going to happen, the electron will be in energy level E1. Okay. When the photon is coming, it will absorb the energy. So once it absorbs energy, so it will go to the next higher level. That is what exactly is going to happen. Okay, when the atom is initially in the higher energy state E2, so it make a transition to the lower energy level E1 by providing the emission of photon at a frequency corresponding to E is equal to h into F. Okay, so once we understand that the absorption is over, okay. So absorption is stating is what? So by energy level from the electron from the energy level E1 to the E2 it will go. So once it go to the E2, it has to come back, okay, because it will not sustain in the higher energy level for longer duration. So it will come back to the original place E1. So when this particular thing is happening, when the atom is initially at the higher energy level and it makes a transition to the lower energy state E1. So by providing the emission of photon at a frequency corresponding to E is equal to h into F. So this particular emission can occur in two ways. So that is by spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. So please make a note of it, all of you, this particular diagram. So once you take the particular diagram, I can write that two process where the emission is going to happen. The first process you can write it as a spontaneous emission. So in the spontaneous emission in which the atom returns to the lower energy state in the random manner. So spontaneously it is going to happen. When it is talking about spontaneous emission, so this particular spontaneous emission where the atom returns to the lower energy level. So returns to the lower energy level means what? So initially it was in lower energy level. So due to the absorption process, it has gone to the higher energy level. So once it is in higher energy level, randomly, so returns to the original lower energy level. So in a random manner. So that particular process is called as what? Spontaneous emission. So now when I'm talking about the stimulated emission, by stimulated emission, when a photon having equal energy to the difference between the two states, that is E2 minus E1, so interacts with an atom causing it to the lower state with the creation of second photon. So here what exactly we do is, it is stimulated emission. Stimulated emission means what? So we forcibly we are doing. So here what exactly happens is by stimulated emission, when a photon having equal energy to the difference between the two states E2 minus E1 that interacts with an atom causing it to the lower state with the creation of second photon. So here the photon is applied, okay. So between it has the difference between two energy states E2 minus E1. It interacts with the atom of the higher energy level. So once it interacts, it will release the photon. Okay, that particular photon is called what? Second photon. So the causing photon is the first photon and emitted photon is second photon. These two photons are emitted finally. So that final emission will be carry on. So the two will go and hit the another two atoms. So they will release another two. So 2 plus 2, 4 will happen. So once the 4 is happening, those 4 will go and hit the another 4 atoms. Like that it is going to happen the chain link. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 6, 4, 8. So it's a multiplication by 2. Continuously it is going to happen. So at the end of the stage, what will happen? There will be a lot of photons which are emitted. So all the particular created photons will be traveling in one single direction. Okay, that is how it is going to work. So this particular spontaneous and stimulated emission, please make a note of it, sentences. So once you take that particular two sentences, you go and write the spontaneous emission and stimulated emission diagrams. Okay. The above first figure indicates the spontaneous emission. The second diagram indicates the stimulated emission. So when you are talking about the spontaneous and stimulated emission, you can see that so E2 and E1, two energy states are there. So initial state is what you can see that the dotted line is there. So that is the initial state. So now that is getting emitted, that electron is getting emitted and it is coming back to the lower energy state. So once it is coming to the lower energy state, what exactly happens? It is called spontaneous emission. It is called spontaneous emission. So once it is getting back to the original or when it is coming back to the lower energy level, so one photon will be emitted. Clear. So that particular photon is it will go in a single direction. It is called laser. Okay. So but in the spontaneous emission, what exactly happens is the amount which is generated, the current density and all will be very less. But when you are going for the stimulated emission, because in the stimulated emission we are purposefully making a photon to hit the atom in the higher energy level. So when it hits the atom at the higher energy level, what exactly happens? So it will interact with the atom, so and it will release the photon. So once it is releasing the photon, the atom will come from the higher energy level to the lower energy level. So by emission of another photon. So you can see that in the left hand side, in the initial state, the one single photon is there. In the right hand side, in the final state, there are two photons are moving. Please make a note of it, this particular diagram, all of you. If you have any doubt in this particular diagram, you can please ask me. So once you take on this particular diagram, we will understand the spontaneous emission in detail and what are the features of it. Okay, spontaneous emission gives incoherent radiation because there is no particular, because of emission will be in the random process, the coherent concept will go off, and whatever the spontaneous emission is going to happen, it will give the incoherent radiation, while stimulated emission gives coherent radiation. That is the difference. So stimulated emission gives the coherent radiation, and spontaneous emission gives the incoherent radiation. So hence the light associated with the emitted photon is of same frequency of incident photon and in same phase with the same polarization. So in the stimulated emission, what exactly happens is, whatever the emitted photon will be there, so that will be having the same frequency of incident photon only. So all the things, all phase, polarization, everything is going to be matched. So when all the things are getting matched, so it will move in a same direction. So we will get the coherent beam out of it. So here it means that when an atom is stimulated to emit the light energy by an incident wave, the liberated energy can add to the wave is constructive manner. So it means that when an atom is stimulated to emit the light energy by an incident wave, the liberated energy can add to the wave in constructive manner. The emitted light is bounced back and forth internally between two reflecting surfaces. So inside the laser generation, there will be two reflecting, that is mirrors will be there. So whatever the light which is generated, so it will be reflecting back to and fro movement. That means what, from one side to another side to one side it is going to be moved. So when it is moving from one side to another side, due to the reflection, so it will hit the another atoms and it will generation of the photon is going to happen. So that is how it is going to work. So the bouncing back and forth of light wave cause their intensity to reinforce and build up. Okay, so here the result of high brilliance single frequency light beam providing the amplification. So when we want to get the amplified wave, so what exactly we do? So in this particular phenomena, the result of high brilliance between the reflection, so the generation will be very high. The result of high brilliance single frequency light beam will be providing the amplification. So you can make a note of it, few points. So once you taken this one, we will move on to the next thing. That is, in the resonant cavity of laser diode, the optical radiation sets up a pattern of EM field lines called model of the cavity. So in resonant cavity of laser diode, the optical radiation sets up a pattern of EM field lines called model of the cavity. Further, the modes can be separated as transfer electric and transverse magnetic. So you people are very much aware that what do you mean by transverse electric and transverse magnetic. So in terms of longitudinal, lateral and transverse fields along the major axis and cavity. So the figure shows the characteristics of the laser diode. So in the x-axis we have taken the current, and in the y-axis we have taken the optical power which is generated. So now up to one particular laser light, okay, you can see that the threshold current, up to the threshold current, so the atoms are generating the photon, okay. So in that particular case, what exactly happens is once it crosses the threshold, the intensity will be very high because it is sufficient. Whatever the generated electrons are there, whatever the generated photons, photons are there, so those will be enough, okay, to generate a coherent beam. So that is what exactly I can say, that the lasing occurs when the supply of free electrons exceeds the losses in the cavity. So here whatever the threshold is there, so up to the threshold current there is no lasing action is going to happen. So once the lasing action is started to occur, so after the threshold, so laser light we are going to get in a very coherent manner. Okay, so now the similar thing when you are talking about the LED. So LED, what exactly happens is when you start giving the current, it will spontaneously emission of photon is going to happen. When it is spontaneous emission is going to happen. So at that particular point of time, there is no chromatic, there is no single intensity. So the wave will go in all the manner, all the way. That is why you can see that the dotted line indicates the generation of the LED and the strong line indicates the generation of the laser. So now in the figure name we can write that is the optical characteristics of an LED and laser compared. So here this thing you can make a note of it. So current through the junction and electron supply are directly proportional and must be exceeded before the lasing action occurs. So you can make a note of the graph and you can write few things. Yes, somebody want to ask anything? Please make a note of this particular diagram and some few points related to it. So in the x-axis we have taken the current and the y-axis we have taken the optical power which is generated. So So now we are doing the stimulated emission. In the stimulated emission, what exactly happens? So we are giving the threshold current. We are injecting the current. So when we are injecting the current in terms, we are injecting the electrons. So we are injecting the electrons. That electrons will interact with the atom, and it will release the photon. So now that particular to happen the lasing action, so we require some threshold current. So why? Because once the photon generation is started, so laser light will not get directly. So it has to undergo lot of reflection, and it has to get a lot of amplification. So once it is feel that it has if sufficient lasing action, so generation of a lasing output, so it will start coming out, and the laser output I can see in the strong line. So after threshold, the laser start to come out, the light ray is started to come out. That particular light ray will be strong enough. Okay, so that particular is having the high intensity monochromatic light. So now when the emission is not maintained, okay, so like a stimulated, it is called as spontaneous. When you are talking about a spontaneous, so the amplification is not required. If you are taking the thing, then it will be called as what? LED, light emitting diode. The light will be emitted, but it is not in a coherent manner. So there we don't require any cavity to generate the monochromatic beam and all. Okay, that is how it is going to work. So once you take this one, the laser oscillations occur when optical gain exceeds photon losses, and this is where optical gain reaches threshold gain. So this is the point where modes or resonant frequencies resonate within the cavity. So laser oscillations occur when optical gain exceeds the photon losses, and this is where the optical gain reaches the threshold gain. So this is the point where modes or resonant frequencies resonate with the cavity. So when you're talking about the polished cavity ends are not perfectly reflecting, with approximately 32% of transmitting out of the cleaved ends. We're talking about the number of modes that exist in the output spectrum, and their magnitudes depends on the diode current. The number of modes that exist in the output spectrum of their magnitude depends on the diode current. So longitudinal modes when you're talking about, so these longitudinal modes are related to the length L of the cavity. So it determines the principal structure of the frequency spectrum of the emitted optical radiation. So it has the longitudinal L, which is very much greater than lambda. So many longitudinal mode can exist. So these are some of the properties. So when we're talking about the lateral modes, that depends on the sides of the cavity. So they determine the shape of the cavity and lateral profile of the laser beam. So when we're talking about the transverse mode, these are associated with electromagnetic field and beam profile in the direction perpendicular to the plane of PN junction. So they can determine the radiation pattern and threshold current density. Please make a note of it. So once you take on this one, we'll move on to the next one. So here one type of the laser diode we are going to discuss, that is a Fabry-Perot laser. So when you're talking about the Fabry-Perot laser, so it is one type of laser thing which will generate the laser beam. Okay, when a photon interacts with an atom in the excited energy state, there is a stimulated emission of a second photon. So both these photons further release just go. So please make a note of this particular diagram. So if anyone is there who has not paid the fees, kindly leave the session. So dear students, those who have attended chartage, fees, dues and all, please don't attend the classes. Okay. So now it's already time. So you can all leave the class.